Hello and welcome to Tactical Llama EDC. My name is Tom. Let's get right into it. Today we are testing our first fixed blade on the channel, the Kizer Smolt. This was designed by Jonathan Style, the same individual who designed the Kizer Militaw. And this is a 3V version of the Smolt. It comes in other blade steels, but this one is the one with 3V. It's got a G10 micarta handle, and it is just fantastic to carry. Here I'm doing some little bit of baseline testing at the beginning. You see it's so sharp it actually just kind of takes little bits off the paper. Here I'm actually just going to move the foam itself. I'm not actually moving the knife. I'm keeping my right wrist and arm locked, and I'm just moving the foam with my left hand. So very little effort, very sharp edge. Very excited to test this out and show you what it can do. And here I was just curious how easily it would go in, and just by its weight with gravity, not putting any pressure on it. But so it's pretty simple there. Yeah, comes with a cool sheath, and let's put it through some fixed blade testing. We're going to start with some 1/2-inch vinyl tubing, then we'll move on to the reinforced tubing. We've got a couple different ropes to cut as well as some wood. So stay tuned. Make sure to stay with us till the very end to see all the things we go through. Here's the 1/2-inch reinforced braided tubing. It's significantly stronger than the previous vinyl tubing, and it takes a lot more effort to cut through. However, the Kizer Smolt doesn't seem to have much issue once it gets through the initial layer and you know, gets something going. It slices through. Still a lot more effort than the previous one. However, it's not too much to be unsafe. So far, the blade has proven to be completely adequate for the task. This is a 3/8 inch braided rope. Just trying to see how well it does against a paracord-like material. Takes very little effort to cut through this one. Here we have the most difficult rope so far on the channel. This is actually the 3/4 inch twisted Sisal rope. This is much larger than the one you've seen in previous tests. It definitely has quite a bit of resistance. So I think you know what, I'm just gonna use this fixed blade like a fixed blade. Here we go. Oh, well, there you have it. That worked out a lot better. Just use this piece of oak I had laying around. Edge looks really good. Wow, that was impressive. That worked really well. Speaking of pieces of oak laying around, I picked up a 1-inch by 36-inch piece of oak, and so I figured we'd be using this for the batoning or feathering test, just to see how the edge holds up in with harder materials, as well as how the spine does with whacking it. Now I did want to make sure that I was going perpendicular with the grain, so I wanted to go the hardest route ideally. So if I can go through this hardwood oak, then I'm pretty confident it would do well against poplar and softer woods. So here we go. That went really well. Yeah, I'm impressed. Let's now I'm curious how the edge is holding up, and let's see if you can feather the wood. It's one thing to make small pieces. Now you want to be able to feather the wood so it's easier to light or ignite when trying to start a fire. I'm very impressed with this edge so far. It's performed really well. I'm actually going to do this one more time. I'm going to split this piece of wood in half again, and then I'm actually going to test out a little further down on the blade with some feathering, like right there. But I'm going to do a little bit more of that just to see how it holds up. Well, I'll just set up a little presentation pile here, and then I'll tear it back down, display the knife a little bit, and then display the wood, and yeah, use the edge further down where I was actually splitting the wood with, and it's feeling really good. I'd be very happy with this knife in a camping situation, wilderness situation, outdoor survival situation. Highly recommended, and great edge retention. And now we're back to where it all started, just to see how the edge has held up. Honestly, this edge test wouldn't really be worth anything if we didn't see how the edge was after all that. I'm quite confident in it. It seems like it did really well. I don't think there are any spots. There might be one tiny little spot that that might have started rolling or dulling over just a tiny bit, but I'd say 99% of this edge is still perfectly, just apexed just fine. I'm confident. I'm pretty confident that. So far everything's going well. Oh, there we go. There's one spot. Let's see. Okay, there's definitely a little bit more bite. It's not as smooth as before. I can definitely feel it. It's catching a tiny bit more, almost like a little more gritty when I'm going through the foam. Just has a tendency to catch all the little bits and pieces there. So let's see if we can find this spot. Okay. Yeah, there seems to be a tiny little spot right there in the center, but I'd say like 99% of the edge has held up just fine in that. So I like this. I like the Kizer Smolt a lot, and this 3V blade steel has held up fantastic. Really cool, really lightweight. Just a really well-made overall ergonomic fixed blade. So yeah, Tactical Llama EDC definitely recommends this one. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.